Hello everyone, my name is Jessica Ponce and we are part of Group 9, and today we're going to be talking about effective customer service methods and how to retain long-term customer satisfaction. So a little overview on what our group is going to be presenting today. First I'm going to start off with talking about positive customer service methods. These are methods that the company is using to help services sell. Building a positive customer service method with your customer is probably one of the biggest components in running a successful business, because servicing effectively and fully building that customer satisfaction is going to want the customer want to return. So a second bit of information that we'll be covering throughout our presentation today is companies that retain these methods. So similar to positive customer service methods throughout our presentation, you're going to see different businesses and companies who are applying these strategies. Also, how they're dealing with complaints and how they're resolving their issues. And finally, we're going to be ending it off with how companies are measuring satisfaction and how they're keeping their customers happy. So before we dive into our presentation, what is exactly customer service? So coming from Salesforce, customer service is the support you offer your customers both before and after they buy your product or service. This helps them have an easy and enjoyable experience with you. So at one point, we all have had experienced a great customer service from a company which wants us to come back and makes us true customers of this business. We all have had that in mind. So when providing a great customer service is now needed in today's day to generate business, because without great customer service, no word of mouth is occurring and people are probably not going to tell a friend, oh, go check out this company. So this helps business in having customers wanting to come back. So the next thing is Servicing the Sell Guide. This is a guide that many companies are using for positive customer service methods. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the follow-through, which is making sure all promises from the sales presentations are met, and managing customer relationships during and after the selling process. So providing the follow-through method for employees of the business is managing how customer relationships during and after the selling process is. And this is very important for a business because it shows the customer that the seller really cares how they are working with their new service or product that they receive from the company. So some examples of follow-through can be the seller being there for the deliveries, also communicating with the customer of the product, letting them know how to use the product is really helping building that customer service and also building that relationship with the customer. So the next one is follow-up. So this is expressing appreciation for the purchase within a few days after the sale, and also determining how well the customer is satisfied with their new product that they just received. So some examples of some follow-up methods can be giving a phone call or also sending out a letter or an email to the customer thanking them for their new purchase. So the last one I'm going to talk about is expansion selling. Through expansion selling, there's actually three types of selling methods. So the first one is full line selling, the second one is cross selling, and lastly upselling. These are very common methods when a seller is trying to provide a service or a product to a customer. So with full line service selling, this is very common and seen a lot in phone companies, and when you go into get a new phone, you'll be recommended new products to go with the new purchase. So this can be a new cell phone case, a charger, or example, Apple Care. So with cross-selling, you can probably see this mostly in luxury stores. So what cross-selling is selling products that are not related to the product a customer just recently purchased. So this can be when you go to a luxury store, so let's say you buy a purse. So through your final checkout, they might ask like, hey, here's a wallet to go with your item, or here's a new belt or new sunglasses. So that's very common in luxury stores. Lastly, upselling is selling to the customer an expensive or even a more better product. So coming back again to the phone example, when you go upgrade your new phone, the seller might say, hey, check out this new phone that just came in, this new features. So it's very common and seen a lot in phone businesses. So what can occur if outstanding customer service doesn't go effectively for a business? Customer attrition can occur. So coming from big commerce, customer attrition is also known as customer turnover, and this can do no good for a business. Reason being, a customer has not interacted with the purchase from the company over a period of time. So some reasons customer attrition can take place. One, a customer is no longer satisfied with the product or service they are receiving. So this can mean they have no need for the product anymore, or they're just not getting the proper services from the business itself. Also, employees are not having the proper training. This can do really bad for the business and also the customer because it shows that employees are not responding back to the customer with feedback or helping them with the questions they may need. And also, not all problems in a company are being fixed, so this is leaving customers very unhappy. Some examples can be like a delivery issue is coming from one customer and pricing issues coming from the other. The company then decides to fix the issue on delivery. What happens in this case is one person's happy and the other one's not. So in this case, this leaves the customer no longer wanting to do any more purchases through the company and leaving the company without a customer they used to have. So this is very important for a business to understand customer attrition because better understanding it will help them better improve servicing for their customers. So a company that's doing their best to steer away from customer attrition is Chick-fil-A. So from the Business Insider, Chick-fil-A was actually voted #1 in the American Customer Satisfaction Index. Reason being, people were saying Chick-fil-A fans rave about how great the chain's customer service is. So what is making Chick-fil-A that makes them different from their competitors? Chick-fil-A has this type of niche that you can see once you step foot inside their door. So this is having employees from all different types of locations follow the same customer approach. Some of these approaches is having their employees always servicing their customer, so asking if they need additional items and always just being on top of their needs. So another common approach Chick-fil-A does is having their employees always end off your service by saying "my pleasure." A lot of customers coming from the Business Insider says that after this is said, they feel very appreciated as a customer to Chick-fil-A. Also, Chick-fil-A does their best by having that warm and comfy feeling like coming from home, and this makes a lot of customers want to return.
When it comes to servicing the sale, good communication between the buyer and the seller is critical in order for both parties to feel satisfied with the exchange. One company that really does this well is Sweetwater, and they sell musical instruments. They're an online retailer who sells musical instruments and professional audio equipment. So, whenever you place an order from Sweetwater, a sales associate will usually call you as soon as possible to confirm your order, and they'll also call you again once the shipment arrives. And they do this for all orders, really, no matter the size, whether you're ordering a $3 pack of guitar picks or an $8,000 drum kit. Sweetwater will always take the time to call you to ensure that the sale process goes smoothly. And by doing these phone calls, it allows the associate to make sure the order is correct on their end, and it also allows them to answer any questions the buyer may have about the product or order, and it gives them the opportunity to give instructions on how to use the product. And then lastly, it gives them the opportunity to troubleshoot any issues with the product. Another benefit that Sweetwater offers is their online informational database called SweetCare. And this database contains guides, tips, and tricks on how to use the products that they sell. And they also have 24/7 online technical support through SweetCare, so customers can really get the help whenever they need it and wherever they need it. Another company that services the sale well is Mouser Electronics. Mouser is also an online retailer. However, they specialize in selling electronic components. Like Sweetwater, they pride themselves in their customer service and good communication with the customer. And they really focus on making the buying experience as convenient and hassle-free as possible for the customer. One of the ways Mouser adds value to the sale is by sending out an order confirmation email as soon as the order is placed. And this ensures that all items, quantities, and prices are correct, and that the buyer is going to receive what they actually intended to buy. These initial emails contain customer service links as well, and also resources and tracking information so the customer can see exactly where their shipment is and they can expect when it's going to arrive. When it comes to larger orders, a representative from Mouser will usually call the customer to confirm all of these details on top of the regular confirmation email that gets sent out. They also offer a technical resource center to their customers that contains ebooks, apps, articles, blogs, and other types of informational resources. And customers can utilize these resources to get additional information on the products they've bought or plan on buying, and they can also use it as inspiration for new electronics projects or also to maybe inspire some new purchases from Mouser. When it comes to adding value to the sale, America's Tire really is a great example. They offer a free flat tire repair service, so you don't have to worry about running over a nail as soon as you drive off the lot with your brand new tires. And then this strategy also helps get more people into their shop. And then that in turn allows them to utilize expansion selling techniques on these people. For instance, they might recommend that you buy a set of new tires based on your personal usage when you're in there to get your flat tire repaired. One new value adding strategy that America's Tire has been using since the start of COVID-19 is their curbside assistance program. And this allows someone to actually purchase a new set of tires and have them installed on their car without ever getting out of the car. So lastly, America's Tire offers a no hassle return policy. So if you aren't completely happy with your new tires, you can simply bring them back into the shop and get your money back.
Hello, class. We now move on to expansion selling, and there are three different types of expansion selling. So first you have full line selling, and then you have cross selling, and then you move on to upselling. And as an associate at Dick's Sporting Goods, which I've worked there for 3 years already, we are taught all three of these techniques. First, we begin with full line selling. So full line selling is a suggestive type of selling. So say a customer walks into Team Sports, my section. I can kind of maybe ask what they're looking for today, and maybe suggest something or a product, and kind of push them in that general direction. Kind of plant that idea in their mind of what they might want or what they might need. So we'll use this as an example. Say a customer walks in, they've already purchased the bat. They're looking around. I can maybe suggest a bat grip to go along with that bat, or I can suggest a donut, which is the bat weight that makes the bat feel lighter. So that's my main job, is kind of suggest another product that may go along with the product they've already purchased. We then move on to cross-selling. So what cross-selling is maybe a customer has already, so we'll use that same example of a customer's bought a bat. So they've bought a bat, right, and their kid's playing baseball. I can maybe tell them, well, does your son or daughter, do they have cleats already? Do they have a batting helmet? And I can kind of push them to try and buy the product that maybe they weren't really looking exactly for buying today, but they're not really as they need it. So cross-selling is kind of suggesting a product that maybe isn't directly related to what they've already bought. So in this case, it's that bat. Maybe it's not directly related to that, and it's not an add-on, but it's something that they can maybe think about and maybe think about purchasing. We then move on to upselling. So with upselling, you're pretty much trying to sway the customer into purchasing a product that's kind of better than the one they're looking at or the one they've already purchased. And we use this a lot with our bicycles. So if a customer comes in wanting to purchase a bike and they have one in mind, they find one. I can maybe tell them, well, for $100 more, you can maybe get a Schwinn bike. It has better qualities. It's a little more higher end, and it lasts longer, and it can really pay off in the long run. So that's an example of upselling. So all three of these techniques we do use in Dick's Sporting Goods, and each of these creates value to our business and can really add a lot of revenue if you're trying these techniques with a customer every time they walk in. We then move on to dealing with complaints. So along with being taught selling techniques, you are also taught on how to deal with maybe customers that haven't had the best experience. So one thing you want to do when dealing one-on-one with a customer that maybe has a problem, you want to acknowledge that problem. You want to listen to them, and you want to offer a solution for that problem. All three of these are ways you can kind of get that customer to see eye to eye with you, and it can be really effective right then and there. The business I've chosen today is Costco. Costco is notorious for the customer service. They offer great, friendly customer service, and you hardly hear anything bad about them, which is one thing that as a business you very much want. And we'll get to an example later of a business that maybe doesn't have that reputation. So with Costco, they've proven to be effective in all aspects of customer service. They have happy employees. Happy employees translate into happy customers. And when dealing with a complaint, they handle it so professionally. And they pretty much give the customer what they want. So, I mean, you pretty much already know that Costco has a great return policy, whether it's broken, expired, maybe it's just not satisfactory to what the customers expected. They'll return it, and they'll take care of the customer first and foremost. And that's one of the biggest ways to kind of get the customer to trust your brand, trust your store, trust what you're trying to sell to them, and kind of make that connection. We then move on to poor customer service. So poor customer service can be given out in three ways. You have the e-commerce, which is like an online shopping. You have um, phone to person, which is talking on the cell phone, trying to communicate to the cell phone. And then you have person to person. So with e-commerce, um, if you don't have if you have poor communication skills, um, people can see that, and people are, especially if you're not with them physically, they will get confused. So you have to learn how to communicate effectively and have those kind of skills to kind of guide them, guide the customer to where they need to be. And if your website is not up to par and it's all over the place, scattered all over the place, that customer is not going to be happy trying to navigate what they're trying to find. So your job is to make things easier for them and make things as easy as possible for that customer. We then move on to telephone service, and actually we'll combine telephone service with person-to-person customer service for this example right here. You have a lack of empathy. So customers can really hear the tone of your voice, and if your tone is negative and you have an attitude towards them, they're going to notice that right away, and they're not going to be happy about it at all. So those two kind of go together in that. You have a non-professional speaking manners as well. I mean, customers really appreciate an employee that knows how to speak well with the customer, how to communicate effectively, which is one of the main aspects of being an associate or trying to sell a product. And then you move on to in-person selling. So in-person selling, you really have to be on your best. You have to have great body language. You have to be willing and able to help that customer and what they need, because that customer will tell people they know about your customer service and how you were treated in that store. So that's one way to kind of get that, get your reputation going, like Costco did, is by being the best employee you can be and by communicating effectively with the customers and kind of giving them what they want. We then move on to a business that does not have the best reputation, and that is Comcast. So I went online, did some research, and I found that Comcast actually has one of the worst customer service reputations out of a whole bunch of places, especially in the telephone and internet service companies, which is actually one of the worst categories for customer service. A lot of them, what they don't know how to do is communicate effectively on the phone. You get customers who actually, maybe they've had a bad day. So say customers had a bad day, they're annoyed, and they're trying, they're maybe taking it out on you. Your job as an associate is to talk to them calmly, understand where they're coming from, and try to get them down on your level. That way you can assess the problem in an effective way. And Comcast, they have, a lot of them maybe haven't done that, and that's maybe why they have the reputation they have today. I actually have a link in the in this slide right here, in the Comcast slide. It's a recording of a customer who had a pretty bad experience with a Comcast employee over the phone, and that actually made national news. And so it embarrasses the company. It puts a bad taste in your mouth when you mention that company, and it gives them a bad reputation after all. And now it's their job to have to rebuild that reputation of them being good with customer service. So if you have a track record of unprofessionalism, chances are that people are going to know about it, and they're going to let you know whether you're being an effective employee or you're being a unwilling and unhelpful employee. The last thing you don't want to do is lose the customer's trust. And there have been some scandals of Comcast actually taking people's money. There's an example actually of a guy, he got charged $1,700, and so he complained about it to Comcast, called them. Comcast was like, well, talk to your bank about it. We don't know what happened. This guy took him to the court, and ends up that Comcast actually did owe them $1,700, and he actually didn't get that $1,700 back until 2 years later. So that's one thing you do not want to do, is lose your customer's trust. And that right there is an example of a bad customer service for a business. Thank you.
Comcast embarrassed today after a phone call recording involving one of their customer service agents went viral. Our tech reporter Gabe Slate listened to the entire call. Let's here to play the highlights, I guess we can call them. Lowlights.
Yeah, more like lowlights. Yeah, you know, we've all had a run-in with an aggressive customer service agent over the phone, but this rep, he takes it so far.
The way that you can help me is by disconnecting our service. That's how you can help me.
How is that helping you, though?
Because that's what I want.
Explain to me how that's helping.
That's what I want.
Okay, so why is that what you want?
Because that's what I want.
This is Ryan Block. When he made this call, he'd already signed on with a new provider. His mind was made up. He just wanted to cancel.
Why is it that you're not wanting to have the #1 rated internet service, #1 rated TV service available?
I'm declining to state we're switching providers.
Okay, so why not keep what you know works? What you know is a good service.
Because we're not doing that. So please proceed in disconnecting our
service. You don't want a good service? You don't want something that works?
If you can just please cancel our service, that would be great. That's all. That is all we want.
After 10 minutes of the Comcast service agent refusing to let him cancel, he put his phone on speaker and began to record the call. So everything you are hearing is after the initial 10 minutes of arguing.
So why don't you want something that's a good service and something that works?
I mean, is this like a joke? Are you punking us right now?
I'm just trying to figure out here what it is about Comcast service that you're not liking.
The call was so shocking, he uploaded the recording to SoundCloud, an audio clip sharing social site. It went viral. Through the entire call, Ryan, the customer, is consistent. He just wants to cancel his service. The agent just won't do it.
Okay, so why is it that you don't want the faster speed? Help me understand why you don't want faster internet.
Help me understand why you can't just disconnect us.
Because my job is to have a conversation with you.
Finally, after 18 minutes of asking, the agent agrees to cancel his service.
You know what? It's disconnected. I'm really sorry to see you go to something that can't give you what we can.
In a statement released online, Comcast apologized to the customer, saying they were very sorry, embarrassed, and that is not how they train their agents to behave. They said they are launching an investigation into this, and they are committed to offering good customer service. All right, well, what do you think about that?
As for the supervisor,
One at a time.
I would have gotten his name and the supervisor. I would have asked for a
Supervisor's a good idea. He did not do that in the whole 18 minutes.
Too.
He stayed calm. He never yelled, which I was impressed with. Maybe he had the foresight that, I'm going to record this and get it on the internet.
I don't know. You're the worst.
People are at home saying, I've heard this exact conversation.
Yeah.
I've had this exact conversation.
I never thought to do this, and how many ridiculous conversations have I had with Comcast?
Record it all.
All right. So next topic is measuring satisfaction, and I categorize it in 4 ways, which is average response time, customer referrals, repeat purchases, and post-conversion activity. So the first slide is average response time. So what that means is how long does a service take to respond to a customer. So meaning that if you're in a fast food restaurant and you order food, how long does it take for them to receive that food? Usually response time indicates the level of satisfaction, and if it's average or above, then they're more likely to be happy with the service. Why? Because no one wants to make a phone call and then having them transfer you to another person and then having to wait for 5 or 10 minutes until you finally receive the help that you need. So addressing issues in a timely manner is very important. So a few channels of communication is phone. For example, 53% of customers believe that a 3-minute wait is acceptable. Email, 50% of customers are willing to wait about a week or so. There's also a unique way to receive the help that you need, which is live chat, which is a unique way of helping multiple customers at once. You can just enter into the chat, ask a question, get the help that you need, get the support, and then be on your way. Next is customer referrals. So quote unquote, your best customers are also your best salespeople, meaning that if people like the services or products you provide, then they are more likely to share that with their friends and families, even the people that they're close with too. So a high number of referrals that you're getting indicates a high level of satisfaction. So it's one of the reasons why companies create these referral programs, because they want to encourage their customers to share with others. And when they do so, they get these points that they can purchase with the services and products that they already like. For repeat purchases, it's a bit self-explanatory. How long has a person been subscribed to your service? Are they continuing purchasing your products or services? Or even trying other products or services from your company? Those are all good indications of customer satisfaction. So for post-conversion activity, basically means that once a customer meets the main goal, what do they do after? Are they going through your website, your social media, your emails? Are they constantly engaging with your content? Those are all good indications that basically a customer's activities determines how much time they're willing to spend with you. Next up is how to keep customers happy. And again, I categorize it in 4 ways, which is customer-focused content, building a relationship through social media, feedback from customers, and analytics and tracking data. So for focused content, building an emotional relationship with your current customers is an effective way to keep them engaged. Featuring a customer like success stories and offering like customer-only perks. So maybe like early access to deals, products or services. Like they'd be the first one to test it out before it opens up to the bigger market, and it just shows that they feel special, and they'll like that. Here we have building relationship through social media. For example, sharing value first rather than just selling, giving out useful tips or information that customers can apply for themselves. That's one way to get customers to think about your brand. Engaging with customers, such as responding, liking, and reposting. And of course, contests and giveaways are always good. And entertaining customers that are relevant to your brand, kind of like commercials or like little funny skits and all that. In this example, a brand named The Barracks that uses social media revolves around the idea of skateboarding culture. Oftentimes people forget that they're a company, and they feature entertaining skate videos and promote professional skateboarders and all that. And it was named after a privately owned skate park owned by Steve Barra and Eric Costin, which are both widely known professional skateboarders. So what they have done is that they gave value by providing entertainment using the idea of called Battle of the Barracks. Well, these days it's called Battle of the Quarantine, as you see on the left side. And what they do is they play a game of skate with professional skateboarders. So a game of skate is like a game of a horse. So when you're playing a game of a horse, you shoot the basketball, and if you make it in, then your opponent has to make the same basket. And if they don't, they get a letter. Same thing here. Basically, they do a trick, and if their opponent doesn't make the trick, then they get a letter. On the right side, we have a skater named Leticia Bufani, who put together a video and shared with them. And as you can also see, there's a little bit of a brand placement, and these are just a few examples how they provide entertainment towards their loyal followers. What they also do is that they post exclusive deals for those that follow their page. In this example, they use a promotion called Beat the Algorithm. So they pick a day and time, and they will randomly post an item for sale. So they would post this one, for example, between 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. and it's only available that day for that price. So keep in mind, this is a really popular shoe. You cannot find this deal anywhere else, and it's sold out within the next 15 to 20 minutes, I believe. Though they don't make a huge profit, the goal is to increase the number of customers visiting their page using these types of promotions. So obviously, saving money makes your customers very happy with that and satisfies with their services. If you want to keep your customers happy, then you need to get some feedback from them personally, asking questions via email, customer comments through social media platforms, and gathering surveys from their experience and what could potentially be improved. So in this example, I will be using Domino's Pizza Turnaround. They read their comments, they understood what they're trying to say, and they decided to fix their pizza.
There comes a time when you know you've got to make a change. You know, you can't lead a company like this unless you love food. I love food. I love pizza. It was about 50 years ago that they started the first store just about 5 miles from here.
Two brothers had a great idea, and they also said they wanted to get it delivered within 30 minutes, and that's something that no one said could be done. In fact, the first pizza delivery vehicle for our company is that vehicle right there. Around the 80s, we were exploding. We were the fastest growing company in the history of franchise business. Nothing had ever grown like that.
Now we're almost 9,000 restaurants around the world. We love what we do at Domino's.
Pizza, where's the love? How hard? Bread, sauce, cheese, fresh ingredients. Doesn't feel like there's much love in Domino's pizza.
Domino's pizza crust, to me, is like cardboard.
Is it hard to watch this stuff?
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
I hear what some folks are saying about our stuff.
Oh, this one's bad. Worst excuse for pizza I've ever had.
The sauce tastes like ketchup.
Totally void of flavor.
You know what? When you first hear it, it's shocking.
The cardboard complaint is the most common one.
This we hear over and over and over.
I mean, that hits you right in the heart. This is what we've done. This is what I've done, you know, for 25 years now.
You can either use negative comments to get you down, or you can use them to excite you and energize your process of making a better pizza. We did the latter.
Most companies hide the criticism that they're getting, and we actually faced it head on.
Some people didn't get us credit for the taste of our product. That's what we're fixing.
We listen to our consumers, and they want us to be better, and we want them to be happier. We want people to love our pizza.
This is what's driving us. This is what's lit the fire under us. This is what's making us want to get better.
Domino's Pizza is acknowledging their comments and criticism, so they decided to make a change. They decided to fix their pizza, and it goes to show that they're listening towards their customers. And lastly, it's analytics and tracking data. It's pretty simple: the number of views online, the number of clicks you get, how much screen time your customers are doing, and the conversion rate, meaning are your customers reaching their main goal. So that would be it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching all of us, of course, and we'll see you next time.